bring content in and do stuff. I'm going to talk about the administrative stuff under your administration area, this stuff, and then I'll pass the baton to Lynn. Turn editing on, off. Okay, you got that right. Up here you can do it. You can do it here too. Settings. There are a couple things I think that you're going to need and you're going to want to have changed in your course through settings. So go ahead and click on that. And again, you see an opportunity to do whatever you want. This information, if you want to use it, yours are blank right now. If you want to put something in here, it appears to the right of your course name when your students log in. Moodle, hey students, this is my course, that's where it appears. Clear? Now, something that came up, and something that we may be changing in DataTel to figure things out, Jessie Rebick has a life drawing or drawing class. She has like 6 sections. And how does a student know which section to go into, especially if those same sections are named the same thing from one semester to the next? Well, you can supplement that course information specific to that course with this area, which I think is a nice use of that. Hey guys, hey first year students, you're going to want to enter this course. Whatever you want to do, you can supplement that on that level, because what shows up on that course list is only what DataTel identifies your course as, which may not be as intuitive to students as you want it to be. So that's there. Topics format. Lynn will talk about the teaching decisions about what format you want to use. The default we've chosen are topics as opposed to weeks, which you feel free, change it to weeks if you want. But what topics do is this. These are topics. 1, 2, 3, 4. Topics are just a block that you can put stuff in. Weeks would be a block with the week, and DataTel knows when your course starts, so your first week is what DataTel tells you. And boom, 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 boom. Total choices, depending on how you teach, depending on how you want to use them. You don't even have, you can make topics not weekly based, you can make these discussions, you can make whatever you want. It allows a lot of flexibility, and Lynn will talk about how to make those changes and customize the interface, but settings control that layout, and then even more importantly, really, they control how many topics are in your course. So you guys probably all have 8 right now. I think that's the default. And if you're great, but more than likely you're going to want more or fewer, and you can change that through that settings area. Good? I think that's what we wanted to talk about, settings. Oh no, one more thing, one more very important thing. Availability. So here's what we've decided, makes most sense. The system populates your courses and sets the default as invisible to students, which makes sense in that you don't want students in your course before you've completed designing it. And so we thought, no, then we'll just make the course available to students 2 weeks before the class starts. And then we thought, not any of you, but there may be some faculty that don't have their course completed until the day before the course is offered. So we're putting it in your hands.
No.
You are responsible for making the course available to students.
Can you make it 6 weeks out?
And if you don't change this, the students will not see anything. Not a ghosted version, not a course not available yet, nothing. And they'll freak. So make sure you change that when you are ready for them to see the course. I believe right now you have the ability to change it 2 weeks before the course is offered, and we can change those things, but that's important for you guys to know.
So Pat, at the same time, this course is available to students. Do I also have to change the dates, start date, and the enrollment?
This is, the start date is auto, I mean it's done, the system knows when your course starts.
So I don't have to disable
No.
those and put in my dates?
This is the default, so you're good, and I wouldn't mess with that unless there's always going to be some, we're finding that there's nothing standardized about how we teach at Clark. So there are options. Yes, the course starts, like yes, granted, but I don't want them working in my course until, so there are ways in which you can customize access through enrollment and availability and things like that. Settings. Assign roles. So I came into our first workshops on Tuesday saying, you don't need to go there. Nope, that's not how we teach at Clark. Things aren't always that way. Assign roles, a very simple interface to give you control about who is or isn't in your course. One of the things that might be helpful is for you guys to add a student, a dummy student, one that exists at all times. So let's do that as a group. You guys are all in a course, right? So go ahead and click on student. And ignore this. You guys are looking like this. Down here at the search box, type in Moodle. We're going to add a student, a fake student, that we call Moodle Student 1. And you're going to see all instances of that. Now, what's kind of cool, what I really like about the search, is that, like an Outlook, you search, you have to know their first name and the right spelling of the first name and their nickname. Any first, last, any part of their name you can type in here and it will find all instances of that, so very slick. I want Moodle Student 1, I want him added into my course, and he's in.
Now, I just might say that what we experienced yesterday with people is, you can always look at the student view and see what they're seeing. But people wanted to, they were experimenting with the grade book and averages and weighted and everything, and they thought, boy, I wonder if this is really working right. So therefore, so then now you have a student that you can see, and then you can see that person's grades, and then make sure that you've got all the right calculations in. So that was one way that people were using that yesterday, so it's a good thing.
So you can also, on your interfaces, you can add non-editing teachers. We can administratively put an actual teacher role, an editing teacher, into your course if you guys are tag teaching or something else is going on like that. But non-editing review or whatever else goes on like that, you can actually allow them in your course that way.
And another thing that came up about a non-editing teacher, some people were saying, well, I'd like to see, another person's course, see how you've got it designed, see how well what it looks like, so I could maybe copy your design, and so you could add a non-editing student. I mean, a non-editing teacher, search for the teacher, put her in, and then she could look at it, but she couldn't change anything. That's the purpose of non-editing.
And we are just scratching this. We are just scratching the surface with how content is shared inside Moodle. But let's say, Bill, Tom added you to his course as a teacher. Now, you in your course can say, I wonder how Tom addressed that particular thing. There's an import function. Import which course? Oh, Tom's course. Well, here's all this stuff. What would you like to use? And you can bring it into your course like that. So there's all kinds of things interdepartmentally, campus-wide. We're just scratching the surface, but importing and sharing content is super slick and easy within Moodle. So know that that's there. We'll talk a little bit about import.